We're here for GDC 2024.
It has grown immensely over the years.
We have a big focus, of course, on AI this year.
This is like the old school Pong game.
We also have a big focus on looking back.
This is the vinyl to streaming music.
There's just so many great ideas in old games. Almost every new game that comes out that's super exciting has an old game that actually kind of inspired it.
It's really, is this fun? And when something's fun, you want to keep playing it.
Every year, game developers converge on San Francisco to talk about the future of their industry. This year, they're looking ahead to a world where mixed reality is everywhere and artificial intelligence might reign supreme. And they're also looking back at the games we played when we were kids and what the future looks like for them. What was the expo like at the beginning?
Well, there wasn't an expo at the beginning.
Lewis Castle has been here since it all began, back when a meeting of the whole video game industry could fit in a couple of conference rooms.
It felt like it was a lot of people to get together because games were a very solitary operation at that point. There was no internet, there was no video conferencing, so you just really didn't get to meet other game makers.
Today, there are thousands of artists and animators, writers and musicians. But back in the 80s, it was different.
Back when I started the industry and when Game Developer Conference started, everybody had to be a programmer for the most part.
And on consoles running at 1 megahertz with just a few K of memory, those programmers made magic.
The machine could never do what I wanted it to do. And it was always trying to figure out a way to cheat, figure out something that you could do that would make it look like it was doing something it really wasn't doing.
From that digital sorcery came classics like Pac-Man, Centipede, and Super Mario Brothers, but also countless other games you might not be able to find anywhere.
We found that many games have been lost from even 15 years ago.
It's why a conference about the game industry's future is now also focused on preserving its past.
You know, preserving these games are important because it's an art form.
Meet Wade Rosen, the 36-year-old CEO of a company you might have heard of, Atari.
I always joke we're a 50-year-old startup.
When he took over in 2021, he made a bold decision
To really say, hey, let's focus on retro classic gaming and be the best in the world at that.
Founded in the 70s, right here in the Bay Area, Atari built the early games that defined the industry. Games that were simple, challenging, and addictive.
You don't really need to know why you're shooting the bugs. You're just jumping in and shooting bugs, and it's fun.
In 1979, Lunar Lander touched down at the arcade. Now, 45 years later.
This is Lunar Lander Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. And this is the modern take on Lunar Lander.
It has a story and characters.
And a lot of clearly updated graphics.
I was going to say, I don't remember these graphics from here.
But sequels like this are only the beginning.
We just kept hearing from people, hey, I've got all these old Atari carts. What can I do with them?
The answer? The Atari 2600 Plus.
There it is.
It's a replica of the original console from the 70s.
It is an 80% scale model of the original Atari video computer system. It's out now for $130. It comes with one Atari joystick. How cool is this? There is actually a brand new Atari cartridge.
It takes all the old cartridges, even works with old controllers.
Atari is now also selling paddles to play games like Breakout and Pong.
And it works with modern TVs.
Yeah, you definitely need an 80-inch TV to play Yar's Revenge. That is the only way to do it.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Far more than a novelty, Rosen says it's about preserving a vintage experience.
Look at this, tangled cords, just like the old days.
Right down to the feel of the buttons and switches.
We probably spent the most time on the toggles, making sure the toggles felt right.
Kind of feels like the original.
What we're finding is a community of people who want that physicality, that want to be able to touch and really experience it the way they did growing up. And so that's who we're trying to appeal to.
They're even developing new games for the 2600.
Mr. Run and Jump just came out for the Atari 2600. This is cool. It's like modern game design, but with an old game technology. Ooh, what is that thing? That is an enemy. Learned that one the hard way.
And while Atari's modern games are built with tools like Unreal Engine that let artists design characters and whole worlds visually, games for the old console still have to be built the old way.
My first games I used to draw on graph paper and
wow.
then bubble it in and convert it to hexadecimal and type it in. There were no mice.
Unbelievable.
There were no mice or no tablets, nothing like that.
Still, they made magic. Long before animators could use digital motion capture, the team behind Karateka did it the analog way.
They actually did a lot of rotoscoping where they took films and drew over the top of film cells to get the motions.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, 4 decades later, the next frontier in game art artificial intelligence.
You guys have some great art in this game. Oh, thank you very much.
The wizards behind Wisdom Academy built their game in just 8 months.
For the art, it's AI assisted. So what we do is we sketch first, then we take that sketch and we give it to an AI so that it can produce something better. We take back the art, we polish it.
Humans and robots working together. If they don't take over the world, Castle thinks they could save the day.
Our industry is in a bit of a crisis because the cost of developing content has become so high.
Really?
And what's nice about the Gen AIs is they can actually leverage the talent we already have to create more things more quickly.
Because in the end, great games come from great ideas. And at least for now, the best ideas still come from people.
People imagine in their mind's eye what they want to see.
Right.
And I think that's what drives innovation, is imagining what could be rather than just basing things on what has been.
And just like in other art forms, every once in a while, an idea becomes a classic.
Are people going to be playing Super Mario World in 100 years? Absolutely. They're going to go back and play that in the same way that, we read Gatsby today. Like, it is still going to be relevant.